Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here, back with another TCG Tuesday. Now let me set the scene. You're at your local hobby shop, searching for that next big game on your shelf. We're going to be looking for Sagrada, let's say. A cute game about creating stained glass windows. When all of a sudden, you hear a blood-curdling scream. Your blood runs cold. The adrenaline starts to pump through your ears. You have no idea what's going on. You start to listen to see if there's any robbery or demands or anything going on, gunshots, something like that. When you make your way to the front of the store, nobody else seems to be alerted at all. The shop owner or the shopkeepers are just sitting there back behind their cash register, completely ununnerved. While everyone playing in the gaming corner seems to be completely unalerted as well. Meanwhile, the rest of the guests in the store are all feeling the same way as you. Where did that come from and why? So let me tell you why. We're looking at a card called Jersey Devil. Now, when you went up to the cashier and you asked him why there was this random blood-curdling scream and should you be worried, all your cashier told you was, oh, they're playing MetaZoo over there. And that's kind of what the case is. I wanted this video to be kind of about some of the weird effects. I'm only picking 5 cards. I want to make this a short video. And by no means is this all of the cards. There are quite a few other very, very strange cards. I just picked some of my favorites right off the top. Alright, so we're looking at Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil's fourth wall effect says that when you contract him, you're going to take 50 damage unless you can produce a blood-curdling scream. Now, when we're in a tournament scene, you're going to have to do this. That's what the card requires, unless you want to take the 50 damage. And that means that your judges have to be sitting there waiting to hear that blood-curdling scream. And your opponent also kind of has to be like, I don't know if that was blood-curdling or not, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're not going to get nitpicky like that, but the fact remains that a good majority of the people that are going to be shopping there that don't know anything about MetaZoo are going to be freaked out. Like, why is this card allowed to be played? I think that is so funny. That being said, Jersey Devil's actually a pretty decent card, so it should see play. I just think it's going to be hilarious when you're in a hobby shop that is completely silent aside from the random chit-chat between two players as they're playing, and then all of a sudden you hear just a really loud scream. So this is going to be a funny one. Jersey Devil is by no means the weirdest one, although it definitely is up there. And I for sure am not going to show you all of the weird ones. I just thought this one was hilarious because I was thinking of this whole scene and I'm like, man, that could make a movie moment. It really could. Or at the very least, a very strange, like, short. But anyway, Jersey Devil, folks. This guy, his fourth wall effects. It does say produce a blood-curdling scream. You have to be the one to do so. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be exiting your vocal cords. The vagueness rules that they show in the rulebook says that as long as you can find a way to do so and it was you that did it, then of course that can count. So if you randomly pull up a sound clip of somebody that has a blood-curdling scream, then that should technically be legal. Next up we have one of my favorites also, Metal Man of Alabama, because I think it's hilarious. Its first fourth wall effect is if there's a radio within eyesight, Metal Man of Alabama loses fleet and first strike. Now I want you guys to think about all of your local game shops. And first off, how many of them have a radio at all? And secondly, how many people still own radios? Like, let's really think about this. So I think it's hilarious that if somebody happens to have a radio, that's funny. I think that as part of the MetaZoo survival kit, people should bring baseball radios. They're very portable, and they're technically a radio. So as soon as you see that Metal Man in Alabama drop on the table, you bring out your baseball radio, you put it within eyesight, boom. Is that legal? I think it should be. This is something you're going to have to take up with your local metazoologist, but I definitely think that that should be a legal move because why the heck not? Its second fourth wall effect says, if you are able to place a piece of tinfoil onto the battleground without leaving your seat or spot that you're standing, Metal Man of Alabama can be contracted for 1 less lightning. So for 2, 1 colorless and 1 lightning versus 1 colorless and 2 lightning. Now that's pretty interesting. Again, it's going to be part of a survival kit. If you're playing Metal Man of Alabama, you probably decided before you left to go to this tournament to pull some foil out of your kitchen and bring it with you. But it's just going to be interesting seeing how many people just randomly place a piece of tinfoil onto the battlefield so that this guy can be cheaper. It's just funny. I find that hilarious. So we're going to move on from there to another one that I think is hilarious, Bunny Man. So his cleaver attack has a 4th wall effect that says, if you are within 1 mile of a human-made tunnel, then he gets plus 20 damage. Now, human-made as in, like, construction worker human-made? Or because, I mean, technically, they used machines, really, to make those, but the humans, you know, are the ones that operated those machines. Or, like, human-made as in, like, some weird person went out into the middle of nowhere and started digging a tunnel with, like, a shovel of some sort, you know. I love the vagueness of this. And then the concept behind it, obviously this guy is hanging inside of a random tunnel. So are we talking like sewer tunnels? Because I still don't feel like those are technically, those are machine made. Let's be honest. Those are machine made, but human operated machinery. Does that count? Where do we stand on that? Hit me up in the comments below. Maybe you know more than I do. But yeah, human made tunnel. So we're gonna move on. This one is one of my favorites here too, Cactus Cat. Its spindle attack says that it does no damage if you're drinking a beverage. So again, I'm gonna say, go to or think back to any event that you went to at a game shop, tournament, whatever, free play, whatever you have. How many times were you there without a beverage? Because I know personally, being a big Magic player, especially in the competitive scene, you kind of have to stay hydrated. And whether you're drinking Mountain Dew or Pepsi or Coke or just plain water, I don't remember ever being at those tournaments without seeing at least 50% of the people with a beverage of some sort. Now, granted, this one does say you have to be drinking it, but, I mean, if the beverage is on the table, is there an implication that you are drinking it, or you just happen to have it on the table? And then that brings into question, like, how does that interact with something like Hide Behind? So, it's just an interesting mechanic here. If you are drinking, his attack is 0, so don't drink a beverage while you have this guy. And then the last one on my list for today, we have GG Bird. Because this one, it says here, if the caster controls an opposing page, or if a caster that controls an opposing page in combat, or that is targeted by this attack, does not say, geez, that's cold, target opposing page in combat, is inflicted with frozen. Again, I think that's hilarious. You're going to hear and see during these MetaZoo tournaments all kinds of very strange things, especially if I do the video on the survival pack. You're going to have a lot of people bringing a lot of very strange things with them, like a potted cactus or you know, a piece of tinfoil, a baseball radio, you know, a bag of rocks. You're going to see all kinds of unusual things, but not only are you going to see them, you're going to hear people say really weird things over and over and over again. And that's not just the blood-curdling scream, but this one right here, having to say, geez, that's cold, over and over again. Oh, it's going to make for an interesting situation. So those are the 5 cards I wanted to look at. They're not anywhere near all of the weird cards that you can find in MetaZoo. Obviously, we have things like the Fresno Nightcrawlers, but I went over that in another video. You can't wear pants, and that's not that weird, honestly. Especially if you live in a hotter state or a hotter area. It's not unusual for people to wear shorts. And there are plenty of other options to use instead of pants, so I think that one's not that strange. But if you think there's some that I missed, or you have other input, go ahead and put them down in the comments below, because honestly, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that stuff. I think by far, in my top 5 weirdest, though, would definitely be Jersey Devil. Although, like I said, not nearly the weirdest, I don't think. We have this guy right here, who literally cannot be played unless you drove a car to the tournament. So if you don't have a driver's license, well, you're out of luck. I mean, I guess you could technically just drive it illegally. Not that I'm condoning that at all, but I mean, who's gonna stop you besides the cops, obviously? So yeah, just interesting stuff. I thought I'd make a really short video for this one. If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and obviously hit me up in the comments below. Tell me what you think the tournament scene, once COVID has become more, well, once the COVID restrictions have become more relaxed, what you expect to see or hear at your local hobby shop next time they're having a MetaZoo tournament. And until next time, guys, peace.